Hey there everybody, and welcome to another one of these things. I hope you're all well. I'm certainly doing well here. It's been a little bit crazy. Holiday season. I don't know when you'll be watching this video, but it's the holiday season now and it's busy. A bit of a public service announcement. It'll probably be a short one. Or public service, I should say. I'd like to think all my videos are public service, all right? Anyway, so I've got a watch stuck in a teapot over here, which is a little strange, but not so strange if you're doing an overheating test, and that's what's going on over here. Right, and I've got my camera here on a Manfrotto, I say Manfrotto, I've been saying it that way for 30 years, I'm not gonna change. I've got my camera here on a Manfrotto Pixie, the 6700, and it is running the firmware that has been running since it came out of the factory. It came out of the factory actually with the 1.01 firmware, which is the second iteration of the firmware. And I'm going to be loading the 1.02 firmware on it a little bit later. The whole point of this thing is comparing the 1.01 and 1.02 firmware against each other regarding the overheating issue. If it is at all an issue for you, it's not an issue for me because I'm not doing any long form stuff when I'm shooting at 24 FPS, and I'm only shooting at 60 and 120 FPS on occasion. But I will only be shooting at 120 FPS for this test. Why? Because I want this to overheat as fast as possible. I don't want to be sitting around here forever because I'm just comparing whether or not there's a difference between using the 1.01 firmware and 02 firmware. So clearly I'll be setting a gold standard for the way the scientific method is employed for future generations here with this setup. But anyway, let's see how it goes.
I'm reinventing myself. I'm me and nobody else. Ooh, I can't help but smile.
So normally I won't shoot these things on a Monday night. The reason being is because Monday nights are garbage pickup night in my neighborhood, and the sanitary engineers seem to spend an inordinate amount of time outside my window opposed to everyone else's window in the neighborhood. It seems like hours just to pick up the garbage in front of my building. Not sure why. That's why I'm wearing this lapel mic. I thought maybe it'd isolate my voice a little bit better than using the shotgun mic I usually have outside frame. Anyway, right, so anticlimactic, isn't it? A 4-minute improvement between firmware 0.1 and 0.2. I would call that inconclusive, and the reason I'd call that inconclusive is because I've watched videos like the ones my friend Brian Catalano has done. I recommend you go check out his channel. He's got some interesting stuff. I don't think he's bought an a6700 yet, but he's got other Sony cameras, and I find his channel a really great resource, and he's a very cool guy as well. Hi Brian. He'll do an overheating test and he'll shut it off and let it cool for a few hours or whatever. He'll turn the camera back on and all of a sudden there's an improvement for no apparent reason. That's why I'll say a 4-minute improvement is inconclusive. I don't think the firmware update made any difference whatsoever as far as that 4-minute improvement goes. I think it's just the way these cameras work. Sometimes when you try it a second time, it works better. That's all there is to it. There is an issue that I came across a while ago, and then I thought that it went away, so I didn't bring it up. That was on my way home from Profusion. I thought that I would shoot some 120 FPS video on my way home, and then all of a sudden it wasn't recognizing this as a V90. Have any of you had issues where your 6700 isn't recognizing your V90 as a V90? So this has been happening to me just during these tests. It reared its ugly head again after Profusion, which was a while ago now. Oddly enough, when I format my card with my FX30 and then put it in the 6700, everything works fine. But if I'm formatting my card in the 6700 and then trying to shoot 120 with the 6700, it's telling me that this isn't the V90. Now, it's not consistently doing that, obviously, but it does do that. And for some reason, formatting the card with the FX30 seems to help. Now, if some of you are having this issue and you're thinking maybe you should format your card with your computer, I would recommend that nobody actually does that. So I was saying earlier that this is probably going to be a short one, and here I am dragging this video out talking about stuff that doesn't relate to overheating at all. Another issue with the a6700 that I have spoke about before is the fact that some people have been having issues with their older Sigma lenses as well as their Godox flashes. It's been causing the a6700 to freeze. So a viewer has contacted me to let me know that Sigma has come out with a firmware update that addresses the 56mm f1.4 from freezing the a6700. Now, I'm assuming that Sigma has updates coming or that they've already come out for the other older lenses. For those of you who've had issues with your flashes, I've been using Godox remotes and flashes without any issue at all, and I'm not really sure what is going on as far as that goes, because I know that can be very frustrating, especially for those users who rely on flashes. Anyway, as usual, I hope you guys got something out of this one. If so, consider leaving me a thumbs up. If not, that's okay too. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of these in the future, consider subscribing, turning those notifications on. And until next time, keep working to make your chosen idea a reality. Peace.